Just waiting for other students to join, and how many participants have joined? Let me check. I think 2, 2, 4, and 5. Okay. So Shivani is not there today. Okay, Shivani is there. Shivani is there. Prachi is not there. Then Vaibhav. Okay. See, last time we have discussed about the soil. Yes. Just hold on. We have discussed lots of things, and as you can see, I think lots of experiments we have discussed about the soil, what exactly is the soil, all we have discussed. Yes or no? Yes, students? Any question regarding the topic which we have discussed last time? Yes, Jay, Jia, Sarah. Any questions regarding that?
Sir.
Yes, dear.
Sir, weathering means क्या?
Weathering. See, now listen carefully. This is suppose rock. Fine. This is a different type of rock which is colored a pink color. One is the rock which is white color or brown color. White color is not there. The snow which is fall down in the rainy season when snow falls. That time the color of these rocks will become white. That is different. But now what is happening over here? See, this is sun. Okay. This is sun. And the heat falls on that. Sun rays falls on the rocks. Fine. Heat falls in that. This is the red rock or a pink rock. This is the color of brown color. Okay. Heat is there, continuously sun rays fall on these rocks. Apart from that, rain will fall continuously. Okay. Rainfall, heat continuously falls on the rock. Now, one more thing. Wind also flow. Is it? Okay. These are the conditions which are going to remain prolonged period of time. This condition remains prolonged period of time. Continues. It will not change. When You can see, I think you can see the board. Otherwise, I can stop share and can show you the board very well. Okay, fine. See, this rain falling, wind blowing, heat, or that is the radiation which we understood in chapter 4, heat, which continuously goes on that, which is continuously falls on that. Now what is going to happen? The climate, this is called the climate. Why? The climate will never change, or the definition of the climate is what? The particular temperature, particular atmosphere, particular heat which remains longer period of time, which will never change, which will remain long period of time, and that is for a 25 years. That is called the climate of that place. See, when in any place you check, if our rocks are there, the heat will come, the rain will come, the wind will blow, any place. So this is the climate which is remain for longer period, and it is naturally remain, and this is responsible to break down, responsible for the breakdown of rocks. This process is known as weathering. This is known as weathering. This is known as weathering. Understand? Yes. Now, any other point which you don't understand? Yes, any other point which you don't understand? Yes, Shivani?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. Now we'll go ahead with the topic which is remain part of this chapter. Today we'll finish this chapter. See, soil type we discussed last time. So, as you know, weathering, the weathering of rocks produces small particles of various materials. This includes sand and clay. The relative amount of sand and clay depends upon the rock from which the particles were formed. As I discussed, the types of soil depend on from which material, from which place, from which area the rocks are brought down continuously and make small particles. Yes. And the mixture of rock particles and humus is called the soil. Now you will have a question also in the mind that how this humus will come. So I said it as early that if the breakdown of soil occurs, if the breakdown of soil is going to happen, then what is going to happen? This breakdown of rocks is going to happen. Then what is going to happen? This breakdown is responsible to make small particles of that stone, and that is called the sand. Now what is going to happen? Because of the wind, it will go one one place to another place. Okay, we go one place to another place. Now going of one place to another place, if there is a mixture also will flow or mixture also will go. The mixture of paper, leaves, mixture of small cuts, is it? So all this mixture, all these things will put together, make the soil. Now this soil contains, then what will this soil contains? There are some part of the stones and rocks. That soil will spread at that amount, at that area, is it? So that area will be covered with this kind of the soil, which is the rock also. There are mixture of the rotated, dedicated animals also will be there. See, if it is the soil of desert area, then rotated, dead animals also there, but there is no leaf. So leaves will not be there. Maybe some leaves are there, then it is exceptional. But you will find more amount of the dead stones and only sands. So desert soil will have different textures, different types. Now, so depending on that, now the type of soil is depend. One type is depend on what? That is a rock and humus which is going to mix. One type. Second type is depend on that the amount of fine particles. Amount of fine particles. Amount of particles, whatever. Large particles are involved, fine particles are involved. On the basis of that, soil have a type. First, we think about the particles or the soil contain greater proportion of the big particles. Soil contains greater proportion of a big particle is called sandy soil. Is it?
I wrote.
Greater proportion. That means what? There, see, there are. I can show you the structure also the soil type. Okay. Everything in this world is connected with the carbon. Everything in this world is made of the atom. So once you are talking about any object, whether it's a solid, liquid, gas, it has the atom. See, suppose this is the one type of the soil, this is the second type of the soil, this is the third type of the soil. Now what is happening? Sandy soil have a different. Okay. This is called the sandy soil. Because the soil which is here has the greater proportion of the large particles, so big particles. These big particles are understood. So this is called the sandy soil. Now here, yes, Sarah, any problem? Sarah? Any problem here? Okay.
Yes.
No problem? Now we come to the other part, that is clay soil. That is clay soil. Here you can see some part of the humus, some part of the soil. The proportion of the fine particles are relatively high. Why this word is used relatively high? As I said, everything is mixed in this world. There is sandy soil, there is a clay soil, there is a loamy soil. Now, clay soil also have greater proportion of the fine particles, which is mixed. Some part of the rocks also, is it? Some part of the sand also. But higher part of this clay soil have fine particles. So these fine particles have different texture. We'll understand what kind of these fine particles are useful, how they will help in your daily life. See, these fine particles, maybe if you are aware about the clay modeling, clay statues, making the toys from the clay, all of these particles which will help you day by day. The clay is useful for making pots also. In the farm, you can see farm soil also, sometimes these mixtures are available, and that is helpful in the crop also. Now, this is the one more, this is second part of the soil or second type of the soil. The third part is the amount of large and fine particles is the same. Then the soil is called the loamy soil. Now, large particle, fine particle, large particle, fine particle, large particle, fine particle. The amount of particle when it remains same, that is called the yes. So these are the three types. Now, whenever this size, when we are talking about, it is also responsible for the properties of the soil. Understand? Properties, whenever you have any subject or any object with you, you might have the properties of that subject also. So whenever these particles which we have, that is influence of the properties also. When the sand particles are quite large, they cannot fit close together, so there are large spaces between them. These spaces are filled with the air. I have told you in the chapter, air is everywhere in the sixth article. That amount of large particle, if you take the sand from the coastal area or the river in your hand and try to hold it, most of the sand will go out from your hand. Most of the soil will go out of your hand. It will not remain in your hand. You want to hold it tightly. If you want to hold it tightly, but it will not come to your hand, it will fall down, it will go out. Now, this soil Mostly the soil is useful for the construction area. When you are going to use this construction, when the construction buildings are going to be made, then this soil is useful for the construction area. Okay. In the construction area, mostly if you go outside nearby your house, if you want to see the construction buildings which are constructed nearby your house, then you find the particles are really different. Then you mix the cement. That is a good soil also for constructions. And this contains also air. If you want to check, you can add, you can take the soil and you can add water. Okay. And this also we can say the sand or the soil which is we have, it is well aerated. It is well. If you take in your hand or if you want to add water, mix the water, it will not mix even. It will go immediately. And it will dry spot. Now, second part we have, that is the clay soil. Clay soil is tightly mixed with each other, bonded together, very tightly. Because the particles which are inside are much smaller. Are much smaller. Packed tightly. And very small space between them. Small air is present because air is everywhere. When you check the clay soil, if you add water, then also you find the bubble. That means the air is present. But water holding capacity of this soil is higher side. More. It can hold more amount of water. Bond it, hold it. So, because of this, the clay soil have less. But they have heavy as they hold water because this clay soil hold water. That is why they are. Apart from that, the third part we have loamy soil. A top soil, a base top soil, which is called the loamy soil because it is helping the growing of the plant. It's a mixture of sand, clay, and another type of soil particles known as silt. Okay. And this silt is mostly we find in the riverside, the deposited occurs deposited in the river beds. The size of the silt particles is between those of sand and clay. The loamy soil also has humus in it. It has the right water holding. That is, it is also holding capacity for the growth of the plant. Only sandy soil don't have the water holding capacity of the plant. Now you can see the activity 9.3 that collects samples of clay soil, loamy soil, sandy soil. Take a fistful of soil from one of the sample fistful. It's for the fistful. Remove any pebbles, rocks, or grass blades from it. Now add water drop by drop and knead the soil. Add just enough water so that a ball can be made from it. But at the same time, if you take soil from these, small amount of water you have to add in all the, this soil, different way. Yes, you have to make the balls, okay, and not be sticky. Time it should not be the time. Chipperman, it's not should be sticky. After making a ball, you can see 9.4, which will be helping you to make a toys. Which soil will be helping you to make a toys. So as you can see, this soil, only one soil, that is clay soil, is making or helping to make a toy. Okay. After this, we will understand about the properties of the soil. One more thing which we have discussed, that is the greater proportion. That is the first property of the soil. What is the greater proportion? If you take the soil that will have a greater proportion, that means have a sandy soil, the proportion which is tightly, fine particles are tightly put together upon it, and that is the clay soil. And the soil is the gloomy soil, which is the sandy and clay soil is mixed together. It also contains humus. That is also have a water holding capacity, but this help in the growth of the plants. Now, one more property which we understand, that is the properties of the soil, is that we have percolation rate of water in soil. Okay. Now, what is the percolation rate? If you want to understand the percolation rate, you have to take these three soil. And once you add the water in this soil, the soil which observe the more amount of water in a minute of time, it will give the rate of the percolations. So here you can see with the field with the two bottles of the same size of water, and when you go outside and take water and throw water on the road, which is broken or kacha or what you can will say, immediately it will take the water or suck the water. Okay. The water which is on the kacha road, which we are going to continuously add, it will go continuously observe. They observe the water on the floor down. And suppose if you, one water if you throw on your floor which is made of cement, that will not observe the water as the water observed by the catcher. So we will perform the activity. We will understand these things with the help of activity 9.4. For the activity, divide as a student. If you are in the classroom, we will do this activity. Now, how to do the activity? If possible, get a small tin can and cut off its water. If PVC pipe also is available, cut it into 20 cm long and pieces and use them. At the place where you collect the soil, place the pipe about 2 cm deep in the ground. Pour 200 ml of water in the pipe slowly. For measuring 200 ml water, you can use any empty 200 ml water. Note the time when you start pouring water. When all the water has percolated, leaving the pipe empty. Note the time again. Be careful. Okay. Now what will you get? The percolation rate is the amount of water upon timing of percolation. That means the amount of water sucked by that soil in that time. That is called the percolation rate. Suppose you had 200 ml of water, it is sucked or observed by the soil in a 20 minutes. That means the 10 ml per minute is the percolation rate of that soil. So today up to this we will have the class. Tomorrow we will have the moisture in the soil holding capacity. All the students just read the chapter up to this and we will ask the question tomorrow about this. Okay? Any problem? The topic which I have taught you till time. Any problem in any within this chapter?
सर आपने जो लास्ट टॉपिक जो एमएल वो समझाया वो समझ में नहीं आया.
Which topic?
लास्ट सर एमएल 2 एमएल.
Percolation it means what? You have a 200 ml of water. You are pouring it in the soil, and entire water is absorbed by that soil in a 20 minutes. So percolation rate is what? The 200 ml of water is absorbed in a 20 minutes. So 200 ml divided by 20. So what will come? 10 ml per minute. That means 10 ml per minute is the water absorbing capacity of the soil. Got it?
Yes sir.
Okay. Fine. See you tomorrow.
सर
Bye.
Yes. Saro.
सर हमारे स्कूल में भारत को